Again, I'll remind you, in case you missed it earlier this morning, we had an overnight export sale of soybeans. Haven't seen one for a while, and we did have one on the board this morning. It was a sale to Mexico, and the amount was 163,290 tons. It was for the old crop marketing year, 2019-2020. So a fairly sizable sale to Mexico for soybeans. We thank them for the business. Now we'll have to see if other ones get in line to start doing some buying here. Now, can you tell it in the market? Well, let's take a look. You can be the judge for yourself. Let's go to the corn and soybean trade right now. March corn, wow, down 6 3/4 at 370 1/4 this morning. We talked about the fact it was lower overnight, just general bearishness globally now on account of coronavirus. December down 5 at 381. Now it's in danger of taking out 380 on the lower side. Let's take a look at the soybean open this morning. Here we go. The March contract on the soybeans, even with that overnight export sale, down 19 cents on the March at 871.5. And now you have July down 17 3/4 at 892. We have November down 14.5. On the wheat, let's check out Chicago March. We're down 14 1/4 at 536 3/4 today. Kansas City March, taking it on the chin. We have the March contract down 13. We're at 455.5 per bushel. The Minneapolis trade also lower today. We have the March contract down 7 at 519. We go to the phone and welcome Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors in Franklin, Kentucky. What a negative start here on the prices to start out the trading week here, Dewey. What's behind all this?
Obviously, it is the coronavirus, which has spread to South Korea and also to Italy here. And, of course, general thinking is there's not going to be any phase one purchases here till China gets this more under control here.
So explain technically what is happening to the overall grain markets. I mean, they can't keep this up forever, right?
No, it's not. According to my analysis, we are in the final leg down on corn. You're in the final leg down on beans, not necessarily the final leg down on wheat. I'm looking for corn and beans both to probably bottom here. Could be as soon as Friday, but I would say by March 3rd, and then I'm going to look for a recovery going into March.
Now, do you base that on cycle counts, or how do you come up with that?
Base it on two factors. One, cycles. Two, Elliott wave analysis.
Okay, now with the markets the way they are, I had been hearing that the farmers had really shut down their cash sales of corn and soybeans at the local level here in the U.S. This probably isn't going to help that any.
Yes, that's true. I would imagine that they have shut down here. I don't think there'll be too many trucks out on the road here if you go try to count them.
Typically, in a case like this, even though the futures may drop, let's say 19 cents, because of basis shifts and allowances in there, the local markets probably will not be moving that much, right?
I wouldn't expect the cash markets to go down on an amount equivalent to what the futures have done. You just got to remember here that we're just looking at pretty much a washout here on the grains here. And, you know, earlier when the coronavirus news was circulating here, I mean, the grains were going lower, but not to, that extensively. So, we're down in the area here where you're going to start seeing some value come in, but you just got to get it washed out.
Okay, we'll pause for a break here, and we'll come back and we'll open up our livestock trade. We've got some big moves going on in the livestock trade. Which way? We'll talk about it when we come back. What a day. I just checked the Dow. It's down 770 points. Yes, you heard correctly, down nearly 800 points on the open this morning. Crude oil market really taking a beating this morning. Remember, we have the grain markets down. Let's see what crude oil is doing. We are down $2.27 on the April contract at $51.11 per barrel. Actually got below 51 bucks there for a little bit this morning. Heating oil is down too, and it is down almost 8 cents now at 160.8 or 0.9 per gallon. So just tremendous selling about everywhere you look today. And if you look at our livestock open on the cattle market, it is not being left out either. April limit down now, $3 lower at 115.25. We have the June. It is trading, but barely. We're down 283 at 107.45. Moving on to the feeder cattle market so far today. We currently have the March down 352 at 136.68, April down 360 at 138.50. There for a while, we did have the feeders trading 1 or 2 months limit down $4.50 as well. It is lifted off of that now by close to $1. Let's take a look at lean hogs. How are they opening up this morning? We currently have April down 215 at 64.88, and May down $1.83 at 72.20. The cattle on feed numbers came out after the close Friday, and we were showing these to you earlier in the broadcast here. Everything about as expected except the placements were actually friendly, only 99%. The trade was looking for 101.5. So even with what some would call a fairly friendly report that came out Friday afternoon and selling off into the report, Dewey, we are just seeing a collapse in the cattle trade today. What does this all mean?
Well, I think we're in our final leg down here on cattle as well, too. I think your April contract still has about 2 to 3 more bucks here yet to go on the downside. Then I'm going to look for a pretty strong recovery in the cattle. As far as your hogs are concerned, can't really tell whether we will go down and set a new low here below 61 in the April or not. I give them the hogs the benefit of the doubt that they could, but cattle, I think, are in the final phase down.
Well, it sounds like USDA is thinking about allowing Brazilian beef back into the U.S., and that's probably really hurting the cause of the beef bulls today, too.
Yeah, that's certainly having an impact on it. I think the cattle on feed report was pretty well forgotten here Sunday evening, so I do believe that we are going to be looking at the cattle market bottoming out here probably by next week.
And real quickly, cold storage report after the close today. Do you think that would have much market impact or not?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, that was pretty quickly. Thank you, Dewey, for talking with us. Appreciate it very much. Dewey Strickler of AgWatch Market Advisors, and he is based in Franklin, Kentucky. Wow, what an open. We'll see if things flip around here anytime during
Sounds like a rocky start to a week ahead.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, yeah, what a start.
Glad we've got you here to keep us posted.
Long way to go today, though.
That's right. Thanks, Marlon.